welcome to episode 54 of 365 in 2024. Today I'm going to continue on the topic of UX research and more how to approach wanting to incorporate research, whether you're the first researcher in the company or you're a product person in some other role and you want to introduce research as a practice to your team. So if you're interested, keep listening. And if you're not, share with somebody who might be. Right, let's get into it. You have identified that your team needs to do research, or you've been hired as the first researcher in an organization. How do you approach establishing a research practice or creating one, especially in a place where they have gone on for such a long time without research and they feel like it's fine, they can do whatever they want, they don't have to talk to users, and so on and so forth. I am pulling on my experience as almost always being the first and or the only UX researcher on a team. There's only been one place that I worked at where there were other researchers on the team when I joined, and where I currently work, though there was no researcher when I joined, there was a researcher or researchers way before I joined, but they all left, and basically I was starting from scratch. So the first thing that you need to do is to create credibility and trust. And you may be thinking, especially if you've been hired as a UX researcher, that like they hired me now, so they know that I can do my work. But when people have been doing something the same way for a long time and it has been relatively successful, it can be hard to get them to try new things. And when you think about the work that you do, not just as a service to the end users of the product, but also as a service to the business itself, the teams that you work with, then you start to be able to build credibility and trust. So the first thing that you need to do is to understand your role from the perspective of your manager and the people that you'll be working with. What do they expect of a UX researcher? Don't make this common mistake where it's like, I'm new here, I'm a researcher, we're going to change things, and this is what we're going to do. Like, people are not going to engage with you. You need to influence people and get them on board with you, not trying to force things to happen. You have to help them understand what exactly it is that you do, and you have to understand what their concerns are and the perceptions that they have about working with a UX researcher or doing some kind of research. So when you understand what those challenges are, what those concerns that they have are, what their perceptions are, then you'll be able to work at a solution that helps you get to them. If you're lucky, there may be people on the team who are already interested in doing research, and then you can find a small project to work on to showcase why research is important. I don't think that only doing a talk or a lunch and learn or a seminar or whatever you want to call it about why research is important is enough to get people on board, because I'm sure that they may have read these things somewhere or they have seen it somewhere, but you have to show it through the work. So look for opportunities within your organization, look for people who are already interested in research, and try to do the work, right, to get to people one at a time. That's how we start. You start with one person and then the next person, and then before you know it, there'll be people interested. Also, to keep you sane, remember that not everyone will be interested. You won't win everyone over into being interested in research. And you are one person with limited resources and limited time. So start with focusing on people who are already interested. They have some semblance of interest, and then you can work from there. I want to highlight again that though the title is UX researcher, which is user experience researcher and all of those things, you are working for a business that needs to remain profitable, that needs to make money, that needs to achieve some goals. If the business is not able to achieve their goals, then there will be no work for you or no products that people can access. At least not that product. There may be other alternatives. So in as much as you're thinking about the user and their needs and their goals, you have to remember that you also need to consider what is the business objective, what is the business goal, and find the connecting point between the two. That is part of what the outcome of research is, right? To find opportunities which are a result of the needs and the pains and the problems that people have. So it is about both the business and the user. It's not one or the other, it's both. This is why you need to build credibility and trust by first listening. The same way you approach a UX research project with end users, you approach your team that way. You listen to people, you ask them questions, listen to the leadership of your organization. What did they say about research? What are their thoughts? What are the misconceptions they have? What has their past experience been with research? And I need to also understand what is the business goal. What are the business goals or objectives in this particular quarter or this year or in the long term, so that as you're looking for opportunities, that map out to those objectives. So is their goal to increase retention or to reduce customer churn or to improve an experience? Whatever it is, you need to know what it is. And that is where you'll be able to identify quick wins. So if you look at, for example, if your organization's main goal is to reduce churn, you can simply do a project. You don't even need to talk to anyone. You don't need to try and get everyone invested, especially if people are not interested. You know that the organizational goal at the moment is to reduce churn. So what you can do is think about how you can find the answer to that question. Even if you can't yet talk to end users, see, can you talk to the customer support team or some other team? If it's a B2B product, there's usually a custom account management team, sales team. Who can you talk to get some insights from them about why customers are churning? So you start from there. When you have some things, you share that with your team. You said you did this research, this was the goal, this is what you found out. And to get more useful insights, you need to do this. So you've proven value in some way. You've established trust, you've established credibility that you can find the answer. You are here to help, not to delay things or to make people feel like you don't know what they're doing, but you're here to help. And so that is one step to creating that trust that you're actually here to help the team. Like I said earlier, don't spend too much time, especially in the beginning, trying to convince people who are skeptical, who are not interested. Find people who are already interested, who are sold on research already, or people who are curious but not yet at the point of, yes, this is something that we must do. Right? So you need to find who those people are. You need to ask them what is success for them. You need to understand what areas are they comfortable with. Some people are more comfortable with surveys. When you say we're going to do a survey, they're like, yes, that is what I think of when I think about research. And if you followed me for any period of time, you know how I feel about surveys. But if that is what it takes to win someone over to do research, put on your research hats and create the best survey that you can, in the way that helps you best answer as much as possible whatever question that they're trying to have answered. And then when you have provided that, you can then say, we've done this survey, this is what we found, but there's still some questions. And I think the best way that we can answer those questions is by doing some interviews or by going to where the customers are, whatever that looks like. So have a quick win. Do something that gets people on your side without doing anything that is bad practice, right? So don't design a terrible survey. Don't send a survey that doesn't make any sense to an audience that doesn't make sense, right? To the best that you can, right? Start with where people are. Basically, start from where they are to get to where you want to get everyone on your team to. Another thing you can do is also think about how you frame the importance of doing the research. So if someone says, oh, we want to launch this product, we're going to build it because this is what we believe that people want and what they need, you can say to them that, oh, think about what is the pain point for them? Why do they want to launch this now so quickly, so soon? Because the product manager has his performance goals that he needs to achieve, and the head of your department or the head of your product also has performance goals and things that they want to achieve. So you need to understand what that is, and when you understand what that is, you can then make useful suggestions about how to approach research. So if you know that the goal is we need to launch this because we need to get to XX amount of revenue, then you can say, oh, if we just launch this now, there's a risk that it won't work because we don't know how people do ABC. So let's take some time to find out why people do ABC so that we can actually launch something that works. That way, you're helping them to see that the research is for their benefits as well, so that they can actually launch something that people will actually use and can get them to their end goal of generating whatever amount in revenue. So I'm going to end this here because it looks like this is going to be a 2 or 3 episode series because there's a lot more to say and this is already getting long. But to recap everything I have said, the first thing you need to do if you're trying to establish a research practice, or whether you're the first researcher on a team or you're just someone on the team who is interested in doing research and thinks will be valuable for your team, is to understand first what are people hesitancies, like why are they hesitant to do research, what are the concerns that they have about doing research. Two, to find the people who are already interested or curious about research. And three, to tie the research that you want to do or that you're suggesting that the team does to the actual business goal. It's not enough to say, oh, it's good to do research, or doing research is amazing. Like, that is not enough. You need to show why it is amazing. Why is it amazing? Why is it important for them to take time to test this interface or to do some customer interviews before making a decision about something? So tie that to their own goal that they're trying to achieve. Basically, approach this the same way you would approach trying to solve a user problem. Yeah. Bye. A quick reminder that I am accepting questions for the podcast. If you have any questions that you'd like me to cover, any things that you'd like me to talk about, please fill the form. I'm going to put the question form in the show notes. So, yeah, bye. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed this episode or found any part of it insightful, don't forget to share with your friends on your social media, and be sure to leave a comment or a review if you can on your podcast listening app. Thank you.